Welcome back to Lounge Videos. I mean, I'm here, I guess. NCR, I'm in a ghost of centralized government. I am the terror of libertarians. Ooh, taxes, the DMV. Ooh, motherfucker. I look more like a goddamn nun right now, okay? Alright, so a quick explanation of what the fuck happened. So, first things first, I done got a power outage. The whole apartment did, not just me. Second, I done got myself reinstalled, started again. Everything looked great. As I imagine people who were there can ascertain. And then it froze. The difference is I could have been more chill about it because all I had to do was just, well, if it happens again, I can fix it on screen. Suffice it to say, it was a better time I could have offered you, and I didn't. I do apologize. I went from a 10-minute break to close to a half an hour break. Anyway, here we go. We return to New Vegas, which means fuck me in a half shell turtle power. I'm taking my chance and I'm gonna shill. I ask you to do the same. I know. My baby. I opened up the whole glass of vodka. Come on, man. It's such a waste. I mean, I would have spent it enjoying myself regardless, but let's all enjoy it together as a family. As a... I don't like keep saying this, because originally it was funny when I'd say it, but I'm still obligated to say it. An ohana. A family. Because ohana means family. Ohana means family. I can never say it quite as well as Billy did that one time. I'm shilling right now, and I actually humbly ask you guys to do the same. Last time, but whatever fucking caveat you want to, that you think you might need. In the meantime, anyway. For some reason, one of my first acts is always being Kevin Smith, and or Kevin Sorbo, I should say. Kevin Smith's cool. Kevin Sorbo, I don't know, and I'm not exactly the happiest that he always comes up as one of the first. Or because he's always being brought up in comparison to... Hold on. There we go. Sorry about that, folks. I just got very confused by very simple things. I do apologize about that, folks. I do apologize. I do apologize. Any shitting on your part would be most welcome. Although, I like how someone in my chat was like, I didn't shill you straight off the bat. And I'm like, thank you so much. They figured out that every time is going to be a humdinger, you know? There's going to be a winner. I wish they were, but they're not. Shill now, and then we can get right back into it. You know what the fun thing would be, and it's quite possible, the second I am done shilling this shit, we're going to get ourselves a beautiful moment where we are deep down the word. I was going to say, and it doesn't matter anymore. Let us get back into it. We have everything we need for the shill. So this is being shilled, though any shill from your part will be appreciated, plus the standard fare, you all know by now. A like, share, subscribe. If you do sub, make sure to hit that bell. If you are subbed, also make sure to hit that bell. And when I say hit that bell, be sure to think of it as like the all thing on the top. I don't know if there's going to be another power outage. If there is, we're out of here. If the PC fucks, we're out of here. Hell, if there's any more major fuck up that I can't fix while live streaming, we're out of here. That's it. I can't do a damn thing about that. But, I ate the rest of those crisps before the stream started, and now my gums are all like, those were some sharp biscuits. And I'm like, they're not biscuits, they're crisps. Crisps. Make speaking sounds. Thank you, Edie. I'm looking forward to talking to you in a few minutes, but in your true form. Right. So, the gist is the following. We are going to go and pour out this drink for starters. And second of all, minimize the game so I can make sure that everything will run as smoothly as possible, as it did for the first fucking hour. As you tend to do. As I tend to do. Now, I have a phone, and it's going to be turned on. I shilled as best as I could. As I tend to do. Tend to do. My God, people show up for that voice. Alright. You know what they say. You can't put a fucking opinion on likes. That's not what people say in the slightest. Well, it's what I'm saying right now. After all, we are what we eat. What the fuck does that have to... Are you high? No, sir, I'm drunk. Oh. Oh, alright, that makes a little bit more sense. Like, share, and subscribe. What the fuck do you think this stream was? Yeah. Yeah, what the fuck? Alright. Where is it? Good Springs, Lone Wolf, Canyon Wreckage. There it is. Oh, I don't even need to fast travel. I'm about as close as I'm going to get to it. Okay. I know how to find it. You find it by... You find it really early on. The first time I ever heard of the Divide, I thought of Cass when she says you need explosives to get through the Divide. And I thought of that place full of geckos. Was it Moonlight Crescent or something like that? And I'm thinking like, oh, that's meant to represent the Divide? Bullshit. Even as like a teenager, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm starting to understand this now. WTF. Oh shit, very important. Let's see if you guys can hear everything alright. Yeah, you should be able to hear it, alright? So, there you go. I don't know what happened the last time. I know what happened this time. I decided, no, I'm not done yet. Fuck you, noise. Then I blew out a gecko's head, and everything is good. Everything? No. I mean, Afghanistan was only recently lost to us. Us being a place where we could have seen a gay bar in our lifetime in Kabul. Hell, no joke, people. I remember people saying that they could have had like tourism going on in Kabul. Anyone who went as a tourist in Kabul was rolling the dice. What a fucking fool. What a fucking 20 years of wasted. Nothing. Nothing. That one dude hopping on the back of the Apache, it's the same as that captain walking back over the bridge, the Russian captain, in the 80s. And it is the exact same as the British sending an army out and only their doctor came back. Or if you go back further and further and further, don't get me wrong, you can take over Afghanistan. And you can hold it too. The real question is for how long? Like if you want to hold it forever, all you have to do is do a simple thing. Kill every Afghani. Like literally. I'm talking about putting them in camps, separating the men from the women, turning the women into like sort of prizes of war. I'm talking about dehumanizing every facet of it. That's the only way you're going to take Afghanistan. I'm talking about genocide of an entire ethnic group. That's how you're going to do it. Are we going to do that? No, because we're humans. And we don't want to do that thing. Will other people want to do that down the line? Yes, because they're humans and they will want to do those things. Humans will tell themselves everything is okay given enough time. And is it correct? It's correct at its time. Caesar's Legion marched out of Arizona and Western Texas and Oklahoma and all those places with one purpose: to unify it because they think it's best. They kill thousands, and in a society where the population plummeted rather rapidly, thousands is a rather big number. So we're now going to talk to a man who's seen it all. Every nuance, every if, every but, every candy, and indeed even these nuts. And yet somehow he's terrified of me and my ability to show up. Now I don't get it. I get it from like a character point. Like I am a character that can break the mold. I can do things. I can be a literal character. In fact, look, they give you an MRE. They give you literal MREs. Isn't that fucking awesome? And sad and everything in between. But here's the thing. There is a fantastic series done by a fantastic man by the name of Kyle Calgren, better known as Brown Hells High or Only Citizen. He used to be on Channel Awesome, and he did a thing, a video completely separate to any of this, but he used an example of philosophy. And the philosopher quoted two things, a character and a character that has no agency. The character that has agency, or like the opposite of that character that he talked about, he used the Dovahkiin from Skyrim. Like Kyle used the Dovahkiin as a reference. I'm about to walk in here, striving around as a Colossus, not just with my modded guns and my ability to hit the console commands and quick save and the fact that this is all a game, but also because I am going in there with a knowledge that I am of like Fallout 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 76 and Tactics and Van Buren, and I've seen and Oblivion and Skyrim and Morrowind. I am in control of the person this man wants to meet, so I already have an advantage. The advantage. And as I walk in, I gotta say the following. Ulysses, as a character, is done wrong. He is the eternal watcher, looking and judging. Okay. Why? Why can't he be the eternal watcher, judging and looking and make an assumption based anything but the negative? Because at the end of it, he will always side against the thing you support. I am an NCR stand, and due to a bug, it's possible he will think I am a New Vegas stand. That's just a bug. But he will be like, oh, I will destroy the Long 15. You know, the big highway leading out of the Mojave. And I'm thinking, like, why do I need this big event to show you that the NCR is kind of it? You don't have much in the way of choices. You have that or the Legion, which you already left. So you went to Hopeville, a town, cool, but there were dozens of towns. The North Road Remembers is a fantastic mod that did the exact same thing. And it's lazy writing. It's making you confront like the choices you made throughout the game. Great, but what's the negative? All he's doing is implying that I've made some poor choice based on the NCR being this sort of globulous, bureaucratic nightmare. Yeah, it is. Look as it devours me and replaces me with a government-issued smiley face, you know? But here's the thing. When you're in a place where water is considered so scarce that when you give someone a bottle of water, it's actually considered good karma, you need government. So let's have the most laissez, laid-back bullshit government possible that ensures that no one starves or dies of dehydration under their watch, and gives everyone as much freedom as possible. Like, they support ghouls. The Legion didn't support the ghouls. Yes Man's outcome does not support ghouls. Sorry there, Vosh, if this ever gets back to you. But ghouls are treated like shit inside the strip and outside. In fact, you never see them inside the strip, as far as I'm aware. You see a few strippers, which is the equivalent of having black prostitutes in a red light district that wouldn't allow black people in. I just think that Ulysses is a very interesting character. He's a mirror. And you know what else? Mass Effect's final DLC, the Citadel DLC, isn't just one giant party. There is this sub-story that's very, very ham-fisted in. But it's interesting. Apparently, they did make a clone of Commander Shepard, but it's the exact opposite of Commander Shepard's clone. So if you've been playing a Paragon run, he'll be a Renegade. If he's a Renegade, if you play a Renegade, then he'll be a Paragon. Kinda like the idea of it, but again, it falls flat. Why do you need to have this dichotomy when the world is coming to an end? If he's already against the Legion, then why the fuck doesn't he help fight the Legion? He doesn't. He just stands back and watches it all falls apart. At the very least, vengeance for his fucking tribe, the Twisted Hairs. But no. I blew the fucking skull. I nuked. No, I fired, I think, a rocket at, or grenade launcher at Caesar. So long ago now, Christ. You'd think he would be ecstatic, but no. So, fuck it, that's it. Coordinates you received leads to the canyons filled with storm-tossed wreckage. Beyond lies the divide, which, the divide is so, like, the word, the divide. It's so imposing. Most of Ron's term of experienced couriers, 25 or higher, are maxed. You cannot take companions with you on your road ahead, nor bring any from your fire out. Okay. Carry whatever equipment gear you have. Your gear will, without restriction. Your journey provides you difficult or need to resupply. You can retract your specs and turn to Mojave. Okay. You prepared? Yes. Walk the lonesome road. Might as well. I've been fucking dropping breadcrumbs for it the entire time I've been playing this. Courier. Past the canyon wreckage. And here we go. The silo. So here is Hopeville, a place Ulysses thought for some fucked up reason that could become a new nation. Not a nation to challenge the NCR or Legion or anything like that. Just a place. A third alternative. Why? It was already completely and utterly dependent on trade from other sources. One or the other, probably the NCR, would have given it an ultimatum in the form of financial benefits. It's just Ulysses' character. I get that he is seeing the world 200 years later. He's like almost a LARPer in a lot of ways. of what America was, but dude, especially the America of 2077, which make life more complicated. You can argue is like more mutated than it is today. It's like what, 50 years and some change in the future. So alright. I have no idea what 50 years of Americanism is going to be like. They'll look back at the most extreme patriot today and think it's quaint. Why will they think it's quaint? We're about to find out. Ralphie. Feel like a kid again. Find all 20 Ralphie posters. Why? There was one in my bed in the Big Empty. Edie, my love. Edna, please, buy the glow.
Experiment log 369248/B. I buy virtual interface override. This is Dr. Weds presiding. We need signal gain and enlarge the overflow buffer system. That should ensure 100% connectivity and control. Ready? Whenever you're ready. Yes, success. Reporting full success on 369248/B. Eddie was able to interface with and override the test panel in under 3 seconds. Great job, team. Now let's start on the proposal for the full rollout.
He was killed when the events of Broken Steel happened. You meet him. Whitley is operating the Enclave's mobile command base. Where's that motherfucker who was the Enclave simp? He's got a lot to answer for with his fascist ways. A few days ago, Metal Monkey went out to the Chinese. He came back with some duck spring rolls, and he came back with a free bag of prawn cocktails. I had the duck spring rolls down there, but well, prawn cocktails I realized would be better suited for tonight. Bro, prawn cocktail. Billy beep beep beep. Ah, ever get that sort of an arc welder? Alright. I remember this gun. Yeah. Itchy. 308. 308. 308. Let's see about getting caps back. M14. Oh, 12 gauge. Do I have any 12 gauge? They do! Now, where can I get 6,000? Well, maybe, hold on. Knowing this, this, ooh, there we go. Never mind. Did I get rid of sheet music? Sheet music is like, what? What's this magical weapon that has an upgrade? Oh. Swiss Army combat armor. Riot gear helmet. Riot gear. Do you want to look like the character you're pretending to be? Stimpack. Right away. And lunchbox. Hammer. Green. Nearly 40 empty syringes, huh? Wow. Oh, I never gave him all those coffee cups. Little Muggy's gonna lose his damn mind. L for Legion. Oh yeah. You thought that was the end of me, did you? You forgot about the magic that is N. What? Oh. Okay. Well then, fuck that. That. Oh, fuck that as a rule. Let's switch out. Let's try out the right gear. Oh, hell yeah. Except it doesn't help me nearly as much as the other thing, but it's of superior quality, so okay. Nuke. Thank you, Edie. Ah, some nuclear weapons. What? Oh. I have to admit, my courier looks kind of awesome. He looks kind of cool. That could be upgraded. Grant you the first rank. Camaraderie perk. Okay, cool. So it's all right. 1 out of 5. All right. Scared beating. It's just a nuclear weapon designed to wipe out as many human lives as possible. What do you have to be afraid of? Ah.
What the hell do you think you're doing?
Oh, Whitley, there you are. Orders from Colonel Autumn. He feels the iBot Duraframe project isn't advancing quickly enough. I'm to...
You didn't even disengage his damage avoidance protocols. You're hurting him.
Don't be ridiculous. It's just a machine.
Agreed.
See here. I've already increased the navigation system's efficiency by 65%.
Get the hell out of here.
You hurt my only friend, the giant orb.
At least until I tell the Colonel about this.
It sounded like Dr. Brown said a war crime waiting to happen. Who the hell is this General Winters? This recording mentored a Colonel Autumn. Ooh. Aww. Edna, please. You don't need to use that many phallic references. All at once. Even Fisto would struggle for that. Trying to see if I can get this to work. Will my artistic vision made manifest? It rhymes with artistic. I beat you to it, you little shits. Truly I am the king of summertime, but it's September the 1st. Not in some parts of the world. It's already September the 2nd in some parts of the world. You're beautiful when you're contradicting me. You look better when you're staring down beneath me. Ew. Ew, that last part implied way too much. No, I retract the last part. Whatever, trash can. You guys frozen? You guys see it? You guys see it? There we go. Yeah, we're good. We're still good. Okay, my phone did a little bit of a jerky jerk, a little bit of the jerky jerk, but not the sort of Jamaican jerky jerk which people like. I turned that robot into ash. I just want to point something out, that if this was like a video game from the 80s, it would just all be done in text. Like Wasteland 1, You guys ever want me to play Wasteland 1? I will. And I'll hate you for it. I will fucking despise you for it. Oh, a marked man. And there is our close quarter weapon, a Bowie knife. So the marked men came in here just after I nuked. Oh, after somebody nuked the place, and they started to fight over it because it is one of the major thoroughfares, which makes sense. Okay, that's fair. But playing the Wasteland post haste. I don't have it installed. It's technically free right now. The very first Wasteland, it's free, isn't it? It's become abandonware. I can play that shit if you motherfuckers want. I will fucking torment you. It would definitely save me in the interim while we're upgrading to our new computer. Which won't happen overnight. As far as I'm aware, we have the money. I'm not even gonna lie, we might actually be 100 or 200 short. Like, once the money gets put into the account, it'll be transferred. The problem is, as you see up there, a lot of that is in dollars. Which means I have to exchange for that. And then there's the nightmare of PayPal. Which also takes out a huge chunk of it. But, no, we should still have the same amount. Now, if we don't, I'll take care of it. But this means that we won't get it overnight. Sucks, but, well, it'll be like a week or two extra. So I could play something like Wasteland. I really would like to play the sequels, the modern day sequels. That looks like some good shit. Find the security codes for the missile site up. Okay. Anyway, these motherfuckers, the Lost, what happened to them was that they didn't just get trapped in the Divide, they got trapped in the Divide, and they became a mixture of ghoul and, like, walking skeleton? Nice way to describe it. Ballistic Defense Division. Yeah. General Martin Rasleff. He's the man in charge of this whole thing. Oh! U.S. Army General. Hell yeah. He shot himself. As any good soldier should. That way you can't hurt anyone else with the knowledge you have. Deactivate. Open personal. Open sentry. Here are our babies. But I just talked to the general of the whole base. Who else would have his fucking codes? There's not even a way up from there. Okay, I guess we're gonna start searching. Nope, didn't want that. There's some great little tell moments though. If you look at the scorched armor, you see like road signs out of fucking like the Dakotas and shit like that, and you're like, how far did these motherfuckers go? You'll find like license plates from as far afield as Mississippi in New Vegas. It's an interesting idea because I love the idea of like, where is everyone any given time? You know, while someone is doing something, someone is look. As we're speaking right now, billions of people are doing other things. Well, as I'm speaking right now, billions of people are doing other things. I don't. Wait. Oh, there we go. I mean, if the commander didn't have the codes, then what's the point? Edie, I'm the one drinking. What's your excuse? Sexy. Thank you. Ah! No, thank you! You made a terrible mistake! Holy shit. Death bots. Right off the bat. No rhyme or reason or a little bit of respect. No. It's almost like though they knew that I would have 300 fucking pulse slugs on this thing. Anyone else? Feel like a hero? You? Yeah. Oh. That's what I thought. Dick. No one fucks with me. I mean, numerous people fuck with me, but they don't even have a chance to regret fucking with me. They just kind of... Like when I played the Fallout 4 thing with the robots, the whodunit, what again I found, the most interesting I found of all of it was that there was a thing related to Venezuela. I'm like, so America has connections to Venezuela? What are those connections? Like, tell me more. And there's no more. It's just a throwaway line. Like the resource wars. Post haste. I'm video Victor C. drunk this month vicariously. Slurring my words, no regret. Oh yeah, you're the one fucking slurring your words. How dare you let the mask slip? We only have drunks who are so ashamed of the fact that alcohol is doing a job to them that they They shame other people. What the fuck? No, I'm glad you're having a good time too. I can't be the only one. I shouldn't be the only one. I have a flag on my head, sir. You think that I'm in my mental state right now? Earlier tonight I was talking about... I don't even remember. What the fuck was I talking about earlier? I know we were talking about way earlier with Alan. We were talking about... how it would have been cool to see NCR and Legion like civilians, as regular people. And then we went on to Lord of the Rings and how adaptations work. And then we talked about that, but like there were bits in between here and now that are rather vast that I don't remember. Here he is!
But there, just like NCR, voice without fire, without strength, sick. Her tales of you walking the Mojave, giving the two-headed bear strength, giving hollow men like Kimball, like Crocker, half the life Hanlon had.
Hanlon?
Let's test
Hansu?
strength, that conviction.
Fucking, mother fucking, Boone? And who the fuck are you talking about? Men. Typical Legion ideals. Right there. Men. What about Tandy? They built a statue for her for a reason. I was there at the beginning, you motherfucker. I was there when Shady Sands was protected by Seth and a girl who sold you rope. No, Seth sold you rope. You could hit on a woman who had a default generic looking sprite. The point is, it was very bare bones. But Shady Sands did okay. You know why? NCR. You know why it did well in the second? Several factors, mostly related to New Reno. But beyond that, NCR. You know why it did well in the third? No, none of you would. The closest you got was Chicago, which means that traders out of the west, out of the east, would have been able to reach you from the west. I'm talking really far traders. Like if you got to Chicago, you'd have been able to have trading conversations with people who would have talked to people who would have seen the Atlantic. You know, that's how. That's the. By the way, that's how the Silk Road worked, and I love it. I absolutely love it. A part of him was probably like, why don't I walk all the way? Well, fucking Kellogg did. He had to get fucking... He didn't even need to get jacked in. He got jacked in to become a cyborg afterwards. At least he knows I'm fucking siding with the NCR. I swear to Christ, every time up to this time, I have played this game. He didn't assume I was siding with NCR. He was assuming I was siding with the fucking with House, and he was asking me why should we side with House when I fucking mowed House down. So unless I was trying to pretend to be Mr. House, it made no sense. Which you can't do, but could be an interesting little storyline. Raisin has returned, you lady. No regrets, no beer, and no TV makes Homer something something go crazy. Don't mind if I don't. No, I'm okay. Wanna play Yahtzee? And then, I don't know, March whips out a 12 gauge and blows out a skull. Yahtzee! Now, that would be a switch. We talked about women drinking beer, anime, and the ocean and weather. That's right. We did all those things. I remember the women drinking beer thing. There's this fantastic show Raisin, you are now bound to the horrors that are as Albion. Ask about the show 2 pints of lager and a packet of crisps. It is a show that didn't do very well. Didn't do terrible either. It was just there. But my God, did it not sum up that generation. It wouldn't be quite, it would be actually my generation, in all fairness. But there were these great moments where, like, lads were playing football out in the park with their, like, coats either side as the goalpost, and they're kicking the ball. And they're wondering, like, lads, are we doing the same thing we were doing when we were 18? And we were 12, and we were 10. Like, do you want to do something else? Like, what's there else to do? I don't have any money. He's like, well, I've been thinking of joining the Open University. You know, like they're going back and forth, and like, who shagged who? Like there were like couples. Like the whole thing was just revolved around the pub, and it was real. It was raw. It was not very good in a lot of ways, but it was definitely something you check in. Besides that, the ocean. Now I remember, yeah, Bill didn't see the ocean, or hasn't seen the ocean, which is a real shame because if you see the Great Lakes, they are massive. Oh my God. When I saw them, I was like, oh wow, they are like oceans, but they're not oceans. You hop on a boat, very quickly you'll know that. Like the fastest boat in the world can circumnavigate the globe in what, like 14 days? Less? I'm talking about like a proper industrial boat, not like a speedboat. And that probably can do it in 8. That would be surreal, doing it in a week. Showing back up in a place before the other place you left hit their day. That'd be kind of weird. Just reorganizing myself. Hang on. NCR, NCR, NCR. Bear. But you know what? Fuck it. I'm putting up here. It's more hassle than it's worth. You can see if I'm not wearing it on my sleeve, then I'm wearing it on my fucking wall. If there's a Fallout 5 where it's between the Brotherhood and the NCR, unless the NCR has become sort of bizarre monarchy, like Caesar won, and he fuses the NCR in with the Legion, becoming like the West Coast Empire or something like that, which sounds like the worst version of Cribs ever. Why is... yeah. Anime, Ocean, and the Weather. I will play it when he comes in the room and sees who notices. They are impressive, but they don't move the same. Yep, they do not. I'm glad you noticed. Have you also noticed the Atlantic and the Mediterranean don't move the same? Nor does the Baltic or the Black Sea. It's the rate of that tide coming in. There's something off about it. You know you're looking at an ocean. And what ocean? I guarantee you there's someone out there in the wider world who would be like, you put them onto a random beach pointing out towards the sea, and they're like, okay, this is clearly... and then they make the name. This could be like an obscure little part of fucking Indonesia or some shit like that. And they'll immediately be like, I know where I am. A lot of hate for the NCR. That kind of hate isn't new to Mojave.
No, not new. And not new among all those in the shadow of the bear. You know their flag. A bear with 2
I do.
heads. Symbols an old world one. Had 1 head then. Better off for it. Their flag to go in different directions, ending up nowhere. In a Mojave, I'll only get you sand between your fingers, or over your grave.
Bullshit. NCR has stretched from Baja up to the borders of, what was it, Canada, and as far west. Well, hello, good sir. Have you heard about the good word of President Tandy? She saved the NCR, and she can save you.
The Divide. This place is a slice of it. Old military. Can still smell the pride and the fear. Hope of the old world, wrapped in fencing, covered in storm. Got new inhabitants now, other than ghosts. More recent. Recruits.
Area looks like it was hit by an earthquake or underground detonations.
America sleeps in the Divide.
He's so obsessed with America, but like I said, he has no idea what America is. He's just obsessed with the idea of it.
There's more. Only takes a few of them, locked below ground, to tear apart the earth and cast dust, sand, ash into the skies above. You'll see the extent, the miles of it, soon enough. You need to see it. Walk it. For now, eyes alert. Watch the streets below. There's still life in the Divide. Threats, other than the storms and wind. New inhabitants.
Old enemy meshes. Reason. Ugh. They're impressive, but they don't move. Coast. It changes up and down. Jersey waves are so much more regular and calm compared to North Carolina. I've seen the New Jersey ones and I've seen the Florida ones, but I was so young I wasn't going to sit down and watch the fucking Florida ones. I've seen both. I've seen the Gulf and I've seen the Atlantic. Further south than adult I've gotten down is the borders of Maryland. Like I was literally seeing Maryland on the other side. Like I think I was in Delaware or some shit like that. Which technically would mean it was in a different state. I don't put that down until I can guarantee I was there or not. I have contacts to people who were like there, and they were like, "Oh no, you were there." But for now, all I'm gonna say is, with the furthest south I can guarantee where I was paying attention to such things was like Atlantic City and other parts of New Jersey. It's the cold, ugly metal style of the Atlantic that we've all come to learn and in many ways love. It's the Atlantic at the end of the day. Further south, all I remember is the heat, the sun. Everything was brighter because the sun was out brighter. Of course it was. Other than that, I've always been heading inland. So, yeah. I mean, Philly, Christ, I was in Pennsylvania for more than a few months. Never a full year, but altogether you could combine it and say 1 year, but not a full year, as in like summer, autumn, spring, all that shit. I was there in winter though, and that was not pleasant. That was actually my first time there, and it was cold. Which, by the way, always book your flights when it's off season. If you want to see these places more than you care about the heat, go off season. The prices. The ocean in New York when I was there last was absolutely ugly. But I mean, that's the East Coast, that's the East River and the Hudson pouring in. But every time I looked out, it was very looking out over Dublin, you know? I can't wait to see the Pacific. I can't wait to go south of which one is closer to the coast, Houston or Dallas? One of them is like really desert, and the other is like a little bit closer. It's still not close enough that they can smell like salt in the wind, but close enough. I'd like to go down to that city and then head down for a day or two down to the coast. When things are a little calmer, I'd like to go down to Cancun. I'd like to see Mexico. I've heard beautiful things about Monterey, but it's always infused with, but you gotta be careful. The second you hear that, you have to ask yourself, is it worth it? There's many more beautiful places, but is it worth it? With your clips, you may have been in Delaware. Oh, I know. Look, alright, I'll describe it to you. I'd say pre 20. It's definitely pre 2010. I know that, but I was there with the people I was staying with. I was doing my work that would have gotten me kicked out by ICE, but they didn't. Um, was ICE even formed back then? I know immigration was formed, but Jesus. Uh, we had gone down for the day to some place along the coast, and we were talking about places. Where would you like to go tomorrow? And they were talking about Norfolk, which is in the naval base. I was very curious because I'm a history buff, so I was very curious. I was like, well, we're not too far away from Norfolk on the map. To them, they looked at each other and were like, well, we can get you to Norfolk. It's not a huge problem. It's just, and then they gave out the hours it would take. And if I remember right, to get there from where we were now, which was already 2 hours, would have been 6 hours. So Norfolk to wherever the hell we were was 6 hours. That's either Maryland or Virginia, right? As for Delaware, yeah, like at this point it would have been easier for us to go to DC. A place I am absolutely stunned I've never been to. All I know about DC, it is a nightmare to drive in. If you're in DC and you have a car, God bless you. But not a single person from cab drive. I remember as a child, the very first time I went to America, I don't know how the conversation was brought up, but someone asked the question, "What's it like in DC to drive?" And the cab driver, we were in like Tampa, or no, not Tampa, Orlando, and she turned around to us. First time I ever saw a female cab driver. It was a black cab driver. Um, Ireland was different back then. She turned around to us and said, "Oh, DC." And I always remember she was dressed to the nines, like a proper business suit. I think she was heading off that night to somewhere special, like a wedding or an anniversary or something like that. And just that night, the driver happened to be on call for as much hours as possible. Which I don't blame them. I mean, it was the 90s, everyone was flinging money around. But I always remember her saying that, like, if you're going to drive around as a cab driver, DC would be the worst. That's Norfolk's in Virginia. Okay. Damn, you've been busy. There's a lot of places like that, these glass igloos. They're right under Northern Lights. Wake up with them. One's in South Carolina, phone 2017. That's the only video I have on YouTube. Totally amazeballs, nothing like it. Once upon a time, I was falling in love, but now I'm falling apart. Looking glassy glue, Northern Lights. Yeah, when I went into the ice bar in Oslo, holy shit, that was an experience. Norfolk is in Virginia. My buddy is from SoCal. Had a breakdown driving through DC, and needed me to drive to Jesus. Drive again until he got back to Richmond. Holy fuck. I've heard, yeah. The thing is, when I went out to the Midwest, I'm sorry, but I think it's because you guys have so much space out in the Midwest, but what the fuck are you guys thinking half the time? Whether it be the fact that I've been in more cars where people were drunk driving, or high, or a combination of both, and the police didn't stop you over, like, at all, or the fact that you'll drive a little shitty car. I'm not going to say who, but if they're watching right now, a little white car in between two massive trucks that were constantly honking their massive horns, and I thought we'd be crushed alive. We got through, they literally blared through. The driver turns to me and says, "Can you believe those guys?" What? I was like pinned to the far side of the fucking car. What the fuck is wrong with that shit? I don't get. Over here, let me put it to you like this. Over here, I don't know how to drive. But after tonight, if I was told tomorrow afternoon, I'm talking about 6 or 7 in the evening, can you drive a place for me? And they throw me a set of keys, I would say no. Because of the off chance I would get pulled over and get a breathalyzer. That is how seriously we take it. And yet Ireland is still famously high for car crashes. The bulk of our country every year gets tighter and tighter with our understanding that when you've had a sip, that's it. That's the end of the conversation. You're not getting into a car. Unless you're getting into the back seat or the side seat. The important thing is you're not getting in front of a wheel. In America? Oh, that's a mild suggestion at most. What the fuck is wrong with you shits? I've been in Ohio and I've seen so much massive hordes of cars moving back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And yet I've been in cars where guys in the same state are downing fucking chocolate, the little tiny, the flasks. And I'm like, cool flask. Could you not drink it while you're driving? And he's like, oh, I'm fine. Now, don't get me wrong. They were fine. But what about all the times they weren't? What about that one time they weren't? Fuck off with that noise. I'm sorry, I do not like the idea of being controlled by a vehicle with somebody who is fucking high. It's scary. Not because of their own skill, but their lack of skill that the drink or the weed or whatever drug it has takes away. And then they're going to plow into a wall. It'll happen sober. It'll happen stoned. It'll happen regardless. Sometimes cars will plow into you. I've mentioned this numerous times before, Irish car safety videos are famously morbid and bleak. Hell, what's his name? Nostalgia Critic did a video that included that. We are really, really adamant. Don't fucking drink and drive. Not one, not half of one, and frankly, if you can, not the day after. But Americans kind of go, there's no proof of that. They go off and they drive. Okay, cool. I'm so glad you came back alive. One of these days you won't. Don't do that. Just, I don't know. It's a cultural. That's a major culture. That and guns are the two major cultural differences. Let's see. Raisin's been busy. Drivers around indeed. 6 hours to Norfolk would have had you in northern New Jersey. North New Jersey, Pennsylvania. Yeah, that makes sense, yeah. Yeah, they drive fast. Smiley face, that's America. Everyone is in my way, right? It's everyone else's fault. Fuck that fucking noise. That doesn't make any sense. Sometimes you fuck up yourself. You have to own up to that shit. I would assume that your crashes have more to do with the roads and the drivers. Oh, Jesus. We're talking about farm roads this narrow with massive turns, and all you have to go on is a tiny, maybe a tiny little mirror pointed down. There's a reason there's a lot of crosses everywhere. This shit happens. It's not because of gangland shootings or anything. It's because cars smash into each other, drive off the road to avoid other people. Like, there's really no. It's Ireland's yeah. It's bad. Outside of Dublin, inside of Dublin, they're trying better. Outside of the smaller towns like Galway and shit like that, sure, okay. Like they're trying better. The countryside can't do better. What we gotta do? Spend 50 million to illuminate every back alley and road? Half the farmers in the country would be up in outrage, saying like the cows can't sleep, the sheep they're confused, they don't know what to do. Sorry, lads, but at the exact same time, they're not wrong. That's where our money came from. So I would assume that your country, people here would not drive this way unless in white. No, but I have noticed there are tiny roads like that in two places in America. New England and way out west. I'm talking about desert out west. Bill, are there or are there not roads that they're not even tarmacked? They're not even like graveled. They're just sort of ruts in the road, but they'll appear on someone's map. Like those are the two things I'm thinking of right now. I'm talking about way out west, well past Mississippi, well past Nebraska and Oklahoma. We're talking about proper desert territory. We're talking about here in game. That's the sort of shit. But the thing about that is, there's tons of space. You can swerve by going off road. You might burst a tire, but you're not going to break a neck. You know, I'll take that loss. Let's see. Drunk driving is not worth it. Your potential killing someone, having to live with it. I mean, I do feel bad hitting bugs while driving. So does the. That's again not a major problem out here or in the UK. There's just so many statistical bugs in the US that you guys are just driving down the street or down the highway and bugs just slam into you. Like I said, I worked out of Atlantic City heading up towards, what was the fucking place? Harrisburg. And in a truck. And that was hours of driving. And there were bugs on our windshield, but out here in Ireland, every once in a while in the summertime, yeah, sure, you'll hit bugs, but for the most part, no. What I found fascinating was a lack of insects compared to out here, because we were in a swamp. I suppose if I head down to visit Pitmonk, well, his bug menagerie would probably increase. Yeah, you want bugs? Bugs. Opens up his fucking blinds and there's like thousands of insects. That's the way Australians have no problem like just casually dismissing giant ass fucking spiders. Once again, here's those. When I come back, I advertise this game. I mean, it is why it's on screen.
These new inhabitants, not natives, most of them, came with duty, purpose, ready to kill each other. The divide was stronger. Left marks on them too. Not bear, not bull. Now, radiations mark them. Made them equal.
I honestly think that Ulysses is full of himself. That's my theory. He is very proud of his own voice. Unlike me, who is anything but. I'm just a gibbering loon. Those bodies inside us were NCR soldiers, some special forces.
Might have been. Once. To the divide they came. In the divide, they
I can get over how much this smells like fucking gummy bears.
You saw mercy.
Haribo.
They deserved
Midget gems.
divide. The bear.
Oh, dude, this stuff. Club Fat Frog.
Came in waves. Before and after.
This mixer? Hell yeah.
The wind ground, collapsing beneath them. Once under different flags, now they are equal in their hatred of the trespassers. You and I.
I've never seen corpses mutilated like that.
Even as the fires here burned them from within, the winds of the divide tore their skin.
Like, I like the idea of a character who's obsessed with you and they need to know you,
Just as the divide
for good or bad. It says a lot about them.
at each other
But, like,
for sport,
Ulysses is so...
glorification, falling back to their history. Maybe
I think Ulysses would be better on paper than he'd ever be in real life.
fire of the divide
It's like the...
sustains them, makes them stronger.
It's like Dune. Anyone who's read Dune knows about the soliloquies, the conversations people have inside their own heads. How often do the better Dune adaptations, so this movie comes out, the better Dune adaptations are like David Lynch's Dune? Maybe at points? Not that German shit, that was disastrous. The the Westwood games, like they. The point is, Dune has always been done dirty. I don't think it's always going to be done dirty. In fact, I have high hopes for this Dune. But I do think that you can't do soliloquies well on screen. Period. At all. Because of the very definition of looking at an image and hearing people talk. Having another image behind. Here's a great example. When I started the very first stream, the one that went on the longest, there was an overlap of numerous audios. One of them was all I needed, but we got like another 4 more. Why? Because I fucked up. Okay, that's cool. But that cacophony of like information being thrown at you? No. No, people need concise shit. Movies need to tell a concise story. To the point where, and I hate to say it, this latest Dune film needs to forget the baggage of the Dune books and just tell the Dune story. What is the Dune story? Very good question. The Dune story, in my opinion, is the following. Birth of a new religion, toppling of the old. Time. That last one is very important because it relates to the rest of history. If they go into like a 25-minute soliloquy about why thinking machines are bad, I'm sure there's a tech priest from 40k somewhere who's like, this unit approves of this literature. But I mean, like, the average person won't be interested. Dune has to make it. I don't mean dumb it down, but I do mean make it more digestible. Instead of a massive hunk of meat, cut it down into like a fillet. Not like a refined fillet, but like, at the very least, cut it down into a rack of ribs, you know? Ooh, a rack of ribs would actually be a good metaphor for Dune. There's a lot of moving parts. You can come at it at any angle. Yeah, yes, ribs. Dune is a rack of ribs. Dune 1. Now what they do with Dune 1 and how it goes on to Dune 2 is fascinating because they've already guaranteed it's going to be a sequel. Of course, if it's an absolute disaster, then, well, there won't be a sequel. But, well, actually, I take that back. Even after disasters, there are. And sometimes disasters turn out to be pretty good. Suicide Squad number 1 was a disaster. But Suicide Squad number 2 was not a disaster. It was actually pretty fucking awesome. So, yeah.
There's truth in your words. In what
Thank you, Ulysses. I'm always glad you're here for me.
they couldn't live otherwise. The divine winds of thorns.
I'd love to take Ulysses out on, like, Bloomsday.
Radiation is
After he read Ulysses, you know?
Make camp near silos, warheads.
This beer is a colloquiate of 3,000 years of Irish history. But also, a man's moment in a second. Dude, could you drink your fucking beer? By the way, Bloomsday Day, it's pretty cool. Bloom's Night is when you want to run across the true geeks. More importantly, when they send their kids home. I ran actually across a lot of kids on Bloomsday, and I can't get over the fact that when I was in Dublin with Claire at the exact same time with Bloomsday, and I saw signs of it everywhere, and it took me until asking somebody who is a part of the organization, surrounded by everyone dressed in 1890s to 1920s outfits, is this Bloomsday. This would be the equivalent of me seeing like a 4th of July thing, and then like fireworks going up, everyone having a barbecue, flags everywhere, parades. And then afterwards, like 2 days later, someone wakes up at 4 a.m. receiving a phone call. Hey, sorry to bug you, but I'm currently in Shanghai, and I just want to know two things. Number one, can you speak Mandarin? And number two, did we hang out during the 4th of July? Okay, for the second one, I could say yes, and the first one, beep. Okay, so this kidney or that kidney? I mean, at this point, I'm not going to even fight it. And that's where Christmas came from, kids. It's actually less crazy than the real Christmas. I hope it turns out okay. I've heard pretty good stuff about it. Palatable for the masses, yes. But what you like? Unless you're saying that that's like a bad thing, nothing wrong with the masses need to read Dune. Like this is what I'm saying earlier about Lord of the Rings with Alan. Lord of the Rings turned into a movie resulted in a massive influx in people reading and buying the books. Dune has never been out of print. It is a classic. The Herbert Foundation is going to be okay for the remainder of its life, which is good because the prequels weren't too bad. They were more grounded in our idea of reality, which is good because the idea of it being so insane that it couldn't be read to appeal to like the later people makes no sense because the whole idea of it being that insane has to start from somewhere. Oh, Dune, my dude, is a series that is Dune Foundation. A part of me hates to say it, but embrace it. Ender's Game. A part of me is not ashamed to say it, despite what Carl Green has to think about it. Fucking Starship Troopers. Eyeline. Fantastic book. I mean, we wouldn't have Space Marines without it. 40k? No. We wouldn't have a lot of things. We wouldn't have Aliens, as in like Aliens, the sequels to Aliens, without Highline. We wouldn't. Hell, Ripley defeats the Queen at the end of the movie in a suit of power armor. She comes out and fucking kills her. Get away from her, you bitch. That's a good film. I'd love to watch that with you guys sometime. I don't want to watch the first film with you guys. I'd love to watch the second film with you guys. Horrors don't work well with crowds, I think. But actions is visceral. It's like, ooh, ooh. John Wick 2. Oh, if I was ever going to do a viewing night for patrons, we'd watch John Wick. Like, I would pay and just, like, watch John Wick. Of course, you guys would be paying because Patreon and all that shit, but that's the whole point of Patreon, so it'd be all understood in advance. And, these things come in the future. There are people smaller than me that have patrons. It's weird. Any donos I get, like Raisin from earlier, I'm like, oh my god, thank you so much. And then I'm like, some people consider this stream complete. Hell, when that thing ended, some people were like, hey, I made some money. I wasn't done yet, though. I'm done when I'm done. Or when alcohol's done. When alcohol's done, then I'm done. Sometimes okay, palatable. I got 2 free Yoda books. I think I'm gonna get a couple of the Dune books. It's a shame Dune doesn't become public domain yet, but no, Dune's a good choice. Not a couple of Dune books though. Get the first Dune book. If you haven't read the first Dune book, that's fine. Otherwise, something else. The second Dune book might as well be from a different planet. It's 40% sibling squabbling, but these siblings know what the other person is going to say, and it's cool if you want to get the vibe of. Oh, there is one fantastic angle that I like in the sequel of the Doom books, and that is the still surprising role. All I'm going to say is, if there's no spoils, of House Harkonnen. That's all I'm going to say. But Harkonnen still is playing its part, even though after the end of the first book, the majority of the family is dead. It's not all dead. In fact, no spoils. By the fourth book, there is still a Harkonnen alive, but at that point, it doesn't matter. You got Christmas for your kidneys. All I got was Easter eggs up the ass and Passover. I'm Jewish. The Foundation show looks decent. I've seen stills of it, and it looks. They got the idea down that like it shouldn't. It should look so especially in the beginning. It should look so advanced that it should look borderline like. If anyone's ever seen Atlas, Cloud Atlas, there's a movie that I absolutely adore, by the way. And we will be getting to the game very shortly. Don't you fret. I am drunk, and I am gibbering, and I am happy. Fuck you. So, put a downvote at this point now if what you came here for was New Vegas. Because we're going to get back to New Vegas. I want to get back to New Vegas. But right now, I want to talk about what I want to talk about. So, and this is pure alcohol. This is being fueled by pure alcohol. So it's grand. It's all good. Let me smother you, my man bosom. There you go. I literally meant smother, by the way. So hold him down. Hold him down. There you go. There you go. There you go. I'm gonna put you here with the others. That's what you get for downvoting me, you little shit. Who else wants to downvote me? Anyway, now we know the secret of PewDiePie, right? And Ninja and the rest of them. So with the Foundation series, especially the very first book, we need to see a society so opulent and perfect that anything it wants at its core and more or less in its outer areas can be attained. Everyone thinks, oh, like Coruscant from Warhammer. No. Warhammer from Star Wars. No. Star Wars is Coruscant. The main flaw with that is that there are billions of people in Coruscant who are incredibly poor. The idea is that Trantor is beyond wealthy. Every one of them. Even the poorest of them live, what would it be, middle class by our standards? Food is constantly flowing in. Energy is constantly flowing in. Resources are constantly flowing in. There is no shame, no problem, no nothing, right? By book, was it 5 or 6? Trantor has become this sort of agrarian little backwater. It's a place on the map of the old maps, you know? The new maps focus elsewhere. Trantor is... So when I saw it, I saw everyone is incredibly like... They've got like robes and like minimalistic stuff. And I like that because they're basically... They have like a cube that unlocks things and becomes things. That is human technology at its finest. Yes. They've gotten so far into the future, by the way, that they've forgotten what the word robot means. And they find one in one of the books. That's some cool ass shit. It's like the dragon from the Wheel of Time. They always have a dragon on the banner, but they don't know if that word and the creature on the banner represent the same thing. It's just a little thing of like knowledge lost, and that's the key thing with Foundation. The knowledge is being lost. So, whatever the hell his name is like, listen, he's talking to the Emperor after his trial, which is not really a show trial, but it's a show trial to other people because he's like smuggled into a back room, and the Emperor, who's freaking the fuck out, is like, so how bad is it? And he's like, 200 years, and you'll start noticing it. How can we fix it? You can't. It's over. It's done. Instead of 10,000 years of a dark age, I can offer you 1,000 years of a dark age. You know? But there are things in between that 1,000 years that he doesn't account for. A certain mutant that mind controls people, who sets up a massive empire that's then destroyed. And from there, a bunch of merchant houses form together. And oh, the Foundation series is amazing. It gets so far that the old Foundation is battled by the new Foundation, who is more akin to the Warhammer 40,000 idea of like a tech priest. Because they created the idea of it. Like, Warhammer is so heavily inspired by Foundation. It's crazy. Just like half a dozen other things. It's so cool. The spice must flow. The spice must always flow, August. Anyway, I think I've flowed enough spice. But I will say, before I get up and take a piss, the following statement. You have secured us 1 unit of spice. You are now worth to us 1 unit of spice. You will now be given 3 spice equivalencies of worth. This is a investment. Should you fail in your task, 3 spices of worth shall be extracted from you. This is also an investment. And then he goes on to explain your mission, and at the end of it, he's like, you will secure the spice. That is an order. You will not fail in task. That is a command. You will kill yourself if you fail in this task. That is a suggestion. And then he turns away and looks at this massive screen, and all the while this weird ass shit is being pumped into him. Like the Ordos, the guy I was just quoting, was a house, but it appears in a sort of like a booklet related to the books that came out while Herbert was alive. And I absolutely love it, but is it canon? No. Should it be canon? Yes. Toilet, me, now, me. You're bad. Please. I wish I was wealthy enough that when I left the room I was doing coke hits or something. I think you guys would notice. Now, I do believe I have some New Vegas. The spice must flow. Jeez. Next, Jesus fucking Christ. That's hay fever and a half shell turtle power. Next stream I do that isn't game based, I'm gonna go and show you guys the fucking Westwood Studio stuff. EA might copyright it. I gotta check that shit out first. But my god, to say that it is basically a continuation of the Dune universe with slightly different consequences is true. I mean, we're talking about John Rhys Davis, Michael Dorn, yes, Worf. The woman who played Lady Jessica from the movies, the Dutch woman, she came back and played that shit. No, wait, no, my bad. I disproved that live on screen. My bad. No, but they did get back the original guy who played the Emperor. Yes, they did. So the guy with the little goatee, and you'll also see him in he is the guy trying to convince the guy in Bruce Willis in Fifth Element, the one with the white goatee and the white hair. He's the same guy. Wait, is he? Oh shit, I don't think he is. No, I retract that statement. Oh my god, I'm going completely off memory here. This is why I don't hang out with Brad Jones and Mr. X and Josh Hadley and all the others, because I am really out of... Yeah, no. These are different people altogether. My bad. Point is, we are talking to Ulysses, so let's talk to Ulysses.
The robot with you. All of them are machines, radios, whole world tech reshaped with new hands, historians, couriers carrying messages.
Stop making comparisons between couriers and everything else.
And the machines. That one, sealed inside the Hopeville silo. Sign America is waking up. It will follow you, obey you, carry it until we are face to face. Then there'll be no more need for it to carry my words. I'm a courier. Courier 6 was Courier 6. Like you, and not like you. In all the ways that matter. Spent too many years looking for you. Now letting you come to me. Thought carrying that ship would end you. No. You got lives in you. Hard to kill. Storms, bullets, sand and wind. Yet still you walk.
Death claws outside of Sloan and not much else. Cazadors. Oh, I overcame both those. Yeah, I'm good.
Words are the only way couriers meet. Sometimes it's the paths we walk. But no, we've never spoken before now. You may not know my voice, but we've walked the same places. The long 15 to Prim. That wasn't the only road you ever walked. I've been to your home, the place you kept returning to. May not be the place you were born, was the place you gave life to. Same thing.
Well, why the hell don't we go back to the place I was born?
Keep communities alive until the day they're gone and their breath catches in their throat. Meant to? No, never. You're a burden. Weigh you down long enough to let death catch up to you. But you survived. There was death.
Just cut this back to the opening scene of the game where Benny shoots you in the head.
No,
You've wiped out an entire town.
never could be.
Oh well.
Maybe why you found each other.
But what about the other ones?
World speaking to you.
Not Ulysses, not them. Like, is there a guy who's like, hey, welcome to the Mojave Express. We can get you from A to B in no seconds flat. And they're like, okay, cool. What can you deliver? Deliver. I can deliver it. Okay. Can you deliver a message? A message is like a courier, always going from place to place. And I'm going to stop you right there. We have a following statement from Mojave Express. To all those who want to have an existential debate, fuck you. We only take packages. Give me a second. And he writes up this entire speech in a piece of paper and hands it to him. I've been looking for you. Something to deliver. Your hands only. Let's see here. Ah, a letter from the Jarl. Moving up in the world, huh? That's it. Gotta go. I'm serious. The couriers from Skyrim were heavily, and I mean heavily influenced from this shit.
We all have death following us. Only a question of how close. You dodged it for a time. You're good at that. Talent for it. With that chip weighing you down, a burden. Let's death move a little faster without me pulling the trigger. Promises to keep to others. And the Mojave's dangerous enough left to the land. The land has its way.
The Mojave. Yeah, sure. Okay.
We'd
Okay.
have met sooner. Not sure that
I'd be more likely to shoot myself out of boredom.
be that history needs to have its say. If not, then messages will do.
Gesundheit. What's the opposite of Andevor? It's like Varda. Nah, it doesn't sound good. Well, I appreciate it either way. I also don't appreciate my phone just died. I've had many hours to replace it. And I got myself to play. We are on the road together. This guy down. There we go. Aw, one more of those occasion crisps. Those were really nice crisps for the record. I mean, outside of Ireland, you can't really get potatoes, so it's kind of like when you go to the candy lab in Dublin. You find American candies, but I mean, like it's really not the same thing because it's never the brand you're looking for, right? Like, where the hell has a Irish Dublin maybe? Dublin, New York. New York might have a Irish store where you can buy like Kilmainham cheese and. Are you fucking serious? And like Donegal catch. Now I've had Donegal catch in America. I've had it in Philadelphia, and I've also had Dubliner cheese. There we go. I was getting worried there for a second. I didn't need no wire for that. I need a I won't be able to read it. I won't be able to read you guys until it comes back. So welcome back to the 20% Fallout game and 80% talking at the camera stream. I don't fucking know. I'm old and confused by many things. My beard. But I will say that when I went over to Dublin, to Philadelphia, I was not expecting Dubliners cheese and Donegal catch in Target, but I did, and it was pretty cool. What I really was not expecting was to find those same items in Des Moines. Like, that shit kind of took me for a fucking sideways. I'm like, what? But, yeah, maybe in Chicago was its farthest, but then they're like 2 weeks out of date in like one store. But, yeah, like, they had these items in, they had these goddamn items in, like, a store. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. It's like when I found a Lidl and Aldi in America, and I'm like, oh, that's awesome. And then I'm like, wait, didn't I find Lidl and Aldi in Ireland, numerous places, including my own town, Norway, France. I think I saw a few in France, and of course, I hear they are pretty big in Canada as well. Sorry, I'm just getting ourselves reset up. I have to make sure that it is indeed charging. I can't look at what you guys are saying without the phone. The reason I have the phone is so I can see you guys posting a comment. I know it's shite, but it's also all I have, so... Alright, now we can get back into it. Finally! Jesus Christ.
America sleeps ahead of you. Its nightmares filled with quakes, storms. You'll need to find your own path. That means waking America's spears up from their slumber. There's ways. Warheads set off collapse. Warheads could open the gates again. You are resourceful. That machine, robot with you, can help you find the warheads you need to destroy. And their trigger, the detonator. The way ahead is below. The tools are there. The rest, up to you.
Look! You know what I'd say about that? That look. My counter-argument? Nothing. Only on one goddamn case. And that is... Ah, come on. Thank you. Jesus. That look is when you have a cat that just gave birth to a litter of kittens. Yes. Have you noticed anyone who had a cat who was comfortable around you Have you noticed how they want you to actively like be a part of the family? They draw you in and they let the kittens smell you, so you're not like scary to them. It's kind of like a weird but awesome thing. If you try to take the cat out of the box, like a kitten out of the box to pet it, the mother gets really freaked out. But, especially early days. But if you... There we go. Gotta sort this out. Oh, there we go. You little shit. There you go indeed. Looking for you. Alright.
Who are you who do not know your history?
I know my history.
Always wait for answers. Only currency I have. Nothing else to be gained. Could turn around, walk away at any time.
That's true.
History matters to you.
I like how they actually leave that open. Like at any point you can just leave. You don't need to talk to Ulysses. At any point or time. You can go straight into the Hoover Dam.
Warheads buried in Hopeville. Use it to keep moving and keep it alive.
I don't know why, but it won't let me.
The divide will send its worst against you. It may break you. We'll see if you're stronger. Road gets rougher from here. Courier. Marks reader. Colors will tell the way if you're smart.
Colors! Huh? Not coloreds.
Lead to the ending.
Either way, it feels weird saying it.
Remind you why you wander.
Cool. Edie, how do you feel like being possessed? Like worse than being violated by 20 guys. I don't know why you need to debate the guy factor. I thought violation was violation. But the important thing is, come, Edie, adventure awaits. Adventure does indeed await. Mostly in the form of Jesus. Who? Where? What? Aha! Fool! You are no match for me or my estrogen. My estrogen is a metaphor for my bullets. Ooh, what? Fool! My gun is more powerful than any level cap. That was my glasses. That was my glasses that fell to the ground. I don't need them. I sometimes want them, but clearly, as is being well established in it when I'm drunk, because then I start playing with them, and then I discard them. Sober, they're more useful. Aha! Fool! Where are you at, damnable? Whoa, shit! Die! Ha! Idiot, you don't know how to fire anything, do you? Let me show you how it's done, boy. That's what I thought. Who else wants something? Want your butt thought to get away with this? Nah. Back. Die. Ow. Where are you at? Hopeville once again is defeated with the power of defeation. No, that's not the way forward anyway. Or is it? It might be. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I give you Detroit. And everyone cheers. Ah, come on. Once again, my phone died. But it's charged, as you can see. Which means the charge is not in for it. Which means that this wire might be the end of its life. Which means I've only got so much ability to actually respond to you motherfuckers. Yep, it's in alright. So the problem is the wire. Okay. Why? Is it an up issue? Could be a wire issue. Well, this changes some things. Without the ability to actually see on screen what the fuck you guys are saying, I have no way to interact to you. Yeah. No. Okay. Right. Because we're actually ending it here. I might as well. I mean, for God's sake, if I had kept this going for one massive, like, stream, I would have been going for, like, 6 hours now. It's almost 3 a.m. What can I do? Like, what? What can I do? I can't do jack shit. So, unless you guys want me to just start looking at videos, which I'm actually up for. Would you like me to start looking at videos? Chat? This is up to you. There's some crazy shit out there. I'm gonna have to rechange the title and shit, but still. Hell, I've got one lined up right here that I know for a fact won't get copyright strike. In fact, guys, I'm sorry. Yay, vids. Bill. It's all your fault from here on out. Of course it isn't, for God's sake. But, it's my fault. But I will say this. We are going to watch videos. Yo, you ever heard of Analyzing Evil? The Vile Eye?
Hello everyone, and welcome to the 44th episode of Analyzing Evil, featuring our patron pick for the month of September, Warden Samuel Norton, from The Shawshank Redemption.
Watch The Shawshank.
One of the greatest films ever made. The Shawshank Redemption, in my opinion, also has the distinction of counting itself among the rare few films that manage to not only honor its source material, but outshine it in a number of ways.
What were we saying earlier? What the fuck were we saying earlier? Movie adaptations into like gaming or books, or how does one adaptate into the other? Shawshank? I know Shawshank is a book, but my God. Whoever talks about the book, people talk about the Green Mile as a book. People respect and love the Green Mile, but they don't give a shit about the Shawshank book. I guess tomorrow what I'll do is I'll go up and buy a new wire. Maybe even buy two. Money! Great, because I can fucking afford 10 quid. Even after tonight, where I made, what was it, 5? Solid. Respect. Big love. But, like, money still has to flow in. So, hell, good as time as any. I hope you're enjoying the stream so far. If you haven't, like, share, and subscribe. If not, check out the description down below for Discord, Twitter, our Streamlabs, and if you did like, if you did share, if you did subscribe, be sure you hit that bell and turn it on. Don't just hit that. These days, like the bell on up there, it's a bit weird. But anyway, onwards.
Frank Darabont's rendition of Stephen.
By the way, Vile Eye, subscribe. If you're gonna subscribe to anyone else besides me, if you're subscribed to 2 channels on YouTube, Vile Eye.
King's novella, Rita Hayworth and The Shawshank Redemption, shortens an already short book while retaining and enhancing the elements within it. There are a few things that were omitted or altered during the transition, but they're minor. Take, for example, the subject of this video. In the novella, instead of a singular warden that stays with us throughout the story, we are introduced to a few separate wardens during Red's telling of the story. And while this isn't necessarily a bad thing, melding elements of each warden into one cohesive character gives us a foil for Andy that makes Warden Norton one of the most memorable villains in cinematic history.
Alright, so what were we saying earlier? You have to, when Alan was on board, what do you have to transform when you're on screen? You have to make it more engaging. Having 3 wardens would completely, like, dismiss. Oh, okay, so this guy's gonna be A, this guy's gonna be B, and oh no, he's gone. So this guy's gonna be A, and this guy, oh no, this guy's gonna be A, and this guy, oh, he is B. Okay, great. I'm glad I finally got to experience that. No, you need to have a creature, you know, for lack of better terms.
There are a few changes that were made between the book and the film that I will be highlighting when applicable, but other than the aforementioned enhancements, and omissions, the Warden Norton we envision in the novella and the Warden Norton we see in the film are close enough in character that we can accurately examine both by focusing on the film while layering differences from the book into our examination of the character.
Now, I did watch, I did read The Shawshank Redemption, but that was back in school. I barely remember any of it. Jesus
Now,
Christ.
without further ado,
But
let's
the movie?
explore the
Oh, I
righteously
love the
hypocritical
movie.
Warden Samuel Norton. With the absence of any sort of backstory for Warden Norton, we'll start off at the beginning of the film. The first time we set eyes on Warden Norton, we're given a man who looks every bit a gentleman. An impeccable suit, neatly combed hair, and a pin in the shape of a cross on his lapel. This initial surface-level impression imparts onto us viewers, if only for a moment, the image of a man who might just have a kind soul hiding behind his dark green eyes. However, that illusion is quickly shattered once he opens his mouth, as after a polite introduction and his insistence on keeping the Lord sacred in his prison, he gives the slightest nod to his underling, Hadley, who proceeds to drive the butt end of his baton into an unruly inmate's stomach. Now, something we should get out of the way before we go any further into Warden Norton's character is the fact that this man is in charge of a prison, and therefore criminals, violent or not. And these men are here to be punished within reason. There's a key phrase though, within reason. Does a smart-mouth criminal deserve to know where he's at? Sure, and the verbal lashing Hadley gave him might have been just the thing he needed for a first-time offense, but rammed in the stomach with a baton for being a smart aleck, not so much. Laws, law enforcement, and prisons exist for a reason.
For the record, is that Jeffrey Rush? That looks like Jeffrey Rush. I think that's Jeffrey Rush. As for the other two, I want to point out that to me the head of security is always going to be the Kurgan from Highlander. Come on, Highlander. Die out or fade away. You know? Fucking slices the head off, what's his name? Sean Connery's head. He's also in oh god, what's the name of the goddamn film? Conan. He's also in Conan. Yeah, he's in Conan, isn't he? Yeah. He has like the huge, like, snake head thing. Or am I wrong? Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. Like, I'm looking to you, chat.
Sure, and the verbal lashing Hadley gave him might have been just the thing he needed for a first-time offense, but rammed in the stomach with a baton for being a smart aleck, not so much. Laws, law enforcement, and prisons exist for a reason, but like anything else in the world, they are far from perfect. And to say that prisoners get either too much punishment or too little is a fair statement to make, but I'm not here to talk about that lengthy and controversial subject. I merely wanted to point out.
One thing I don't like about Vylib is that everything has to be a 3-part act. Where did that 3-part start? You could argue anywhere, and I stepped over it. Same with me.
That in our first scene with the warden, we are subject to his propensity to issue too much punishment rather than too little. In the book,
it's the way he says it. It's like, it's very cool to listen to. It's very good to listen to. But my main flaw with him is that everything is the same level of impact. And so he walked into a room compared to, and so he raped those women. Like, Is that intentional?
This is still the case. However, physical punishment isn't something that the warden
Is it
indulges.
cool to abort
Rather,
a
he chooses to
Cthulhu?
harm.
Cthulhu, if it's truly Cthulhu, Cthulhu will abort you before you even think the idea. Like, before you're in your mother's womb. Like, your father will literally grab their crotch in pain, topple over, and then you'll never be born that night. Oh, don't get me wrong, he might have sex with another woman or the same woman that same night, but on the exact same night, no. No. You were not born. Because Cthulhu can't be aborted. Cthulhu is gonna happen because Cthulhu has happened prior and Cthulhu will happen hence. The real question is, what is Cthulhu in the grand scheme of things? In actual fact, he's pretty bronze silver-esque. Now, the Yellow King, well, she of 1,000 eyes, well. Coven, no. No, the Coven is even weaker than Cthulhu. But is Cthulhu? You know, I wouldn't say no to Cthulhu if I found it on the ground as I walked by. I'd pick it up and go like, that's some cosmic horror right there. But what you want is to find out wherever the hell the ancient aliens went to. The ones on giant stalks and the ones that made the null shagarubs. That is the name of the game.
Offenders by putting them on what the inmates call the grain and drain diet. Norton would send offenders to solitary confinement and put them on a diet of bread and water that would cause them to lose their teeth from malnutrition rather than beatings. This version of Warden Norton even puts an end to the so-called midnight burials of his predecessors, but makes an increase in the brutal practice of solitary confinement. Solitary confinement is another issue that's been debated on for a long time now as to whether it should be considered cruel and unusual punishment. There's been a lot of research.
Yeah, it is. On this very channel, I can show you guys, there is a bunch of Russian ones where they're in a room about the size of this desk. No joke. And like they'll do it for like 10 years, and when they come out of it, they forget simple things like how to say hello or how to move their heads up in particular places. Now, I am an Aspie, so by default, these things aren't well known to me, but I picked them up. That's why actually I have no respect for any Aspies who don't. But my God, unless they have like high and Asperger's, borderlining, other far worse things like, autism, Down syndrome, things like that. Well, at that point, I'm like, okay, well, obviously. But like, if I were to meet someone from, like, a Russian prison who went to solitary confinement, they wouldn't be able to make eye contact with me. They wouldn't be able to force it. Because there were no eyes to make eye contact to. They were down in the corner for days, weeks, months, years.
Research done on this particular form of punishment to support the idea that even a week in solitary confinement can damage an otherwise healthy individual's mental health, whereas a prison sentence is designed to both correct your behavior and rehabilitate you. Solitary confinement is designed to break you down mentally, cowing you into behaving according to the rules the prison has laid out for you. Laws without consequences would make no sense, and punishment is necessary. But, as with anything in this world, punishment has evolved over time. In the past, we used to send criminals to be tortured and executed in dungeons. However, we've since grown as a society and done away with much of the more archaic forms of punishment out there. I know that even to this day, there are still many places in the world where people are treated in barbarous ways, but on the whole, I'd argue that the way we handle crime in the modern day is a vast improvement from how crime was handled by our predecessors. Again, even where things are better, it's still not perfect, and any man-made construct, like law, crime, and punishment, deserves to be debated on and improved over time. I lean towards this practice being ultimately cruel and unnecessary, as depriving a person of most of their human interaction without putting them in total isolation can be achieved by leaving them in their cell. But issues like these aren't black and white, and I'd be interested in hearing what you have to say about this practice.
And I'd be interested what you guys have to say about this practice. I know I've got a drink on me, but hell, this shit's gonna be in the corner there. So, you just heard the exact same thing that I did. This is new, fresh. Subscribe to Vili. So, what the fuck do you guys think? We're not gonna watch the whole video either, because that would... Actually, we're not gonna watch any more of the video. What do you fuckers think about solitary confinement? But I want to listen to you. We'll talk more about Fallout. You want me to go on to another... I mean, if I get Fallout to work one more time, I will. I'll just get right back into it. But in the meantime, the question stands. And it works. So we're getting right back into it. I don't know if Vila will blind me, because the reason why I thought Vila would be okay with it, because I misunderstood. And I thought of, what's it? JCS psychology or something like that. I picked the wrong choice. Solitary confinement is some of the worst things you can go through. Well, that's never been in question. But I mean, like, the whole, obviously, because otherwise it would be a little bit redundant, right? So what is the benefit of it? Oh, that's right, my phone died. Fuck's sake! Ah! Okay, so it is charging right now. If it is charging, that means I can see you. And I'm serious, guys. Like, share, and subscribe to Vili. It's expanding for a reason. Oh my god, that shit is crazy. No. It went. It's stuck in a... Alright. Alright. It wants to be like that. That's fair. It's charging as we speak. But I can't really read it, so I just minimize this. Yeah. I mean, like, it's a punishment, right? But I always thought prisons were designed for one purpose alone, which is, oh, there's the Blade of the West. A reference to, of course, the Blade of the East, which is what Lanius wields. But this is one that was created in the West. Alright, so the way I've always seen solitary confinement is that it's a punishment for fucking up. But what's the point of that punishment? Right? Hey, look at that hand. It's almost like they know or something. They know. They know. They know. You know what else I can do? I can actually turn my phone on. I can't see it straight away, but I can see without minimizing the game, so... Who was today? Is it you? Yeah, that's what I thought. It was you. Shame. Could have been a person. Okay, so the phone is charging right now. The phone itself is fine. The wire is what its problem. Tomorrow I have to go up and get myself a new wire. There's no... There's no middle ground here. What is middle ground is to be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And if you haven't already checked out our Discord, and if you haven't already checked out my Twitter, and don't forget that we have on Stringo. You know what I did there? Yeah, it's still working. Yeah, I can see you guys now. Reminds me of the Dark Brotherhood. Yeah, it should, because that's the exact same hand. They just reused the they reused the same sprite. Boom! A little bit too close. A little bit too close. To make the world a little bit safer, you have to detonate every nuke you can find. Problem with that is, well, yeah. You just saw it there. We find every single nuke in the goddamn region. I'm too drunk to, so I'm just gonna grab every nuke we can find. Period. Huh? No. Okay, so other task. Our task is simple. Quest the job. Make your way through Lonesome Road to collapse. Okay, I can do this. Collapse overpass tunnel entrance. Alright. Huh. Yeah, once again, it wasn't. There you go. Piece of shit. There you go. No. Apparently. Aha! There you go. Piece of shit. No escape. Now it's working just fine. Burp. That burp mattered more than every religious organization in human history. You know why? Because it was real? No, because it was mine. God. If only the Lord was real. He would understand. Alas, I must be his not messenger. Wait, what sort of bizarre message are you declaring? Andavar! shockingly enough. An anti-material rifle is not what I want to carry around with. More enthusiastic Andavar. Now he's on the trolley. Now he's backing the fucking putsch. The year is 1934, and it all rests on Bill Portley. They say in Berlin, yeah, that they will not move unless Bill Portley moves, yeah. And they do not think Berlin or France shall, and Washington has its own problems. Something about this Al Capone man, you know, yeah, full of gangsters, yeah. No joke, that is actually how the German, the pre-war America saw it. Like, you guys were so obsessed with your own crime that you didn't pose a threat. Now, don't get me wrong, your pre-war crime was a fucking nightmare. I mean, you set the standard for criminal, but you also could just immediately at the snap of your fingers be like, yep, war, let's do thing, you, me, destruction. Define destruction. You. Oh, that's not a good thing. For you, it's not. For me, there's going to be a lot of movies made about me. The one man that's ensured that the war would happen. Shit, I was already here. Okay, so how do I get down there? Also, more enthusiastic Andavar does still require me to do the following. Andavar. Actually, that's weak. Give me a second. Andavar. There you go. Shouldn't you say it beforehand? You know I could let that one go. No. You said it. Andavar. And men say that other men cannot reach goals. To that I say, Andavar. Woo! I did not plan for that. Upon which now we enter new and dangerous waters. Not that there was any water about that. Woo! You know what the sad fact is? I'd win, I'm not going to say all, but most drinking contests put in front of me. But it's always going to be done with such a sad face. Not from their part, but from mine. I'm not into that. Doesn't change the fact that I just drank a lot of vodka. So, you all have to be prepared for that. Compared to now, where I have been quite sober and articulate. Again, I want to know what the fuck is going on here. And once again, I want to point out this club Pat Frog shit. It's delicious as a mixer, which, for the record, the only reason they made it in the first place is a joke reference to the 90s cocktail that a lot of Irish people used to drink, especially around Dublin. Like, they made it as a mixer, and that mixer, it's good shit. It's good shit. Now we play a little game called What the Fuck Am I Doing? The Job. Make your way through the lonesome road overpass. Okay, cool. I can do that. In fucking theory. Bullfrog? Fat frog. It's like, it goes back to the 80s when Irish people were making fat frogs, and I know this from Claire and from Chris, Metal Monkey. I once got one of those in a can, and he's like, oh, I'd like to try that, and he's like, when we used to make that, it was a very different creature, and when I asked him when he made that, he was talking about the early 90s. The early 90s? I was barely understanding what multiplication was, at best, you know? He's got a decade on me, as do a lot of people in my chat. So ecstatic. Come on. Mind you little shit. Oh well, I'll just leave and come back in then, I guess. You gonna do it? You gonna do it? You gonna do it? Yeah! I know fucking how Bethesda games work. Yeah, you know shit. Yeah, you know shit, Todd. Bend over, Todd. Any of these beds, you're mine tonight. Oh, don't. Oh, we're not gonna have sex, but I will hold you close. I'm in the mood for a little bit of snuggle tonight. Is she here? You know what I'd like to do? I'd like someone to snuggle me and be like, hey, how was your day? And instead of them reflecting off back to me, they're like, well, you know, I got it pretty okay, but throughout the day I got this vibe that something was going to happen, and sure enough, just before lunch, we were all brought into the commissary, and holy shit, that's when the records scratched. And I'm like, oh, really? Do tell. All the while, I am holding this motherfucker tight. I don't know. For your enjoyment, consider Scott Hansen as a placeholder. It can be any human under the sun. 8 billion. Let's just pick Scott Hansen, right? So I'm holding Scott Hansen while Scott Hansen is telling me about my day. Or his day, rather. And as his day goes on, like as he's telling me about how the company has decided to not downgrade, diversify. He realized that's when he wants to do something crazy. That's what I'm in the mood for. I'm in the mood for holding a partner close. And she looks up to me and she's like, hey, so my boss said I have to come in on the weekend. I'm like, oh, well, that's life. Yeah. After that, do you want to go to like Antarctica or something? I have these 2 tickets. That's where I want to be in life. For the record, Scott Hansen's response of the equivalency would be something along the lines of, hey, so I don't want to wrestle, and I'd be really cool watching him wrestle, you know? Oh wow! The nuke was not very easy to stand by. Ah, who'd have thunk it? Just to give you guys an equivalency, America has more nukes than China has probably. Well, let's just say they're all being launched at America. What is it, like 4,000 nukes? What's spirit and lemonade plus certain liqueurs. Alright, at this point now, I have to ask myself, am I going to complete the... Am I going to kill Ulysses? Not that I want to kill him either, but no. So let's just fucking go. Let's just try to get the damn quest done. That's the 3rd time I'm there. This time, I can do something beautiful, like TLC. Now, you have to complete the thing. Bullshit. Actually, in that case, it might be. So, I forgot, everything is kinda... I mean, it's stupid, but it's also kinda, like, required. You can't pass a certain point without going through these ridiculous fucking stories. Saying that, I do want to hold Scott close to me. Scott does not want to hold close to me, although he probably is not also against the idea. He's indifferent. The key thing is, what does Asterios think? No. No! This... What, am I too drunk to... What's... Yeah. Right off the bat, no. I just... You know what, I'm taking my chance. What happens if I turn... Yeah. Alright, fuck it. Oh no! You didn't do the thing. Oh no. Why?
I don't believe it. Grant actually went to Colonel Autumn and got approval for her damned efficiency guidelines. All experiments will be carried out with the test subject fully active to reduce iteration time. It's barbaric. I've explained this to the Colonel. Just because the iBots don't have true AI doesn't mean they're just machines. I guess results are all that matter around here. Forget things like ethical procedures or humane treatment. I'm starting to have serious misgivings about leadership around here. At least I've got you to talk to, huh, Eddie?
Yeah, Whitley. We met Whitley. Technically, we met Whitley in the in the Fallout New Vegas promo back in the day. Like, he was hoping that Edie would go to Chicago and then eventually go to Navarro. Now, the best way to describe this is that I don't know what's happening between the Enclave, between Raven Rock and Chicago, but I do know that he thought that was important enough. Look, to say that the Enclave are dead is an understatement, so yeah, I have no statement to say except for, taking my headphones off. You guys saw that, right? Like, you guys heard that, right? What the fuck was that? Jesus Christ. Anyway, plus certain liqueurs, but that was a while ago now. Where? Die. That fucking order. Come on. Come on! I don't care about XP anymore. Oh, you know shit. Oh! Oh, you want to give me a fucking Metro Last Light vibe? Alright. 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 Ah. Tunneler. Yeah. Die. Die! Like, share, and subscribe, guys. Just because I am a creature of habit is a slight understatement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm glad that my character is fantastic. You ever wanna fight Irish? Well done. Mate. You have your double. Wait, oh no. Oh shit. Holy fuck. I mean, don't get me wrong, but look at the effort the local creators